Chapter 17.
Everyone take in as much air as you can, I said again. We're going deep. We dove and swam almost straight down. Down, down, leaving the bright barrier behind. Away from the sun. Away from the light. Away from the air that we needed just as much as humans did. I echolocated a school of fish ahead, just below us. But we weren't there to eat lunch. We swam through the fish, and still we headed down. Down until we could see the ocean floor beneath us. We leveled off and skimmed across the ocean floor, like low-flying jets racing at treetop level, over waving fields of seaweed, through darting schools of fish, over jutting extrusions of rock, encrusted by barnacles, and home to 1,000 bizarre crabs and lobsters and urchins and worms and snails. Ahead was a ridge, a sort of long, low hill. We sailed over it.
I'm starting to feel like maybe taking a breath would be a good thing,
Rachel said.
How much farther?
We all saw it at the same time. Saw it, yes, but could hardly believe it. I've become used to seeing impossible things. Aliens, spaceships, my own friends turning into animals. But this was just plain mind-boggling. It was round as a plate. A very large plate. From one side to the other, the diameter must have been 1/2 mile. It was covered by a transparent dome, clear glass, or whatever it is the Andalites use for glass. And within the dome, protected from the crushing force of the water, was what looked very much like a park. A park, in a plastic dome, at the bottom of the ocean. There was grass, more blue than green, but it still looked like grass. There were trees like huge stems of broccoli, and other trees like orange and blue asparagus spears. At the center was a small lake, crystal clear blue water. From the water grew fantastic, transparent green crystals in shapes like eccentric snowflakes.
Whoa,
Marco said.
Man,
Jake commented.
Is this what you expected, Cassie?
Rachel asked me.
I had dreams. I saw flashes of something. But this is unbelievable. I think that may be a hatch down there,
Marco said.
You see the part that sticks out? Let's try it,
Jake said.
I can't hold my breath much longer.
We arced down toward a part of the glass dome that seemed different from the rest. As we got closer, we could really begin to feel the size of the dome. It was like approaching one of those huge stadiums where they play football, but even bigger if you can imagine that.
It is a hatch,
Rachel reported. She was a little ahead of the rest of us.
It's some kind of a glass door. On the other side, there's a little room, then another door that leads into the dome. There's a little red panel beside the outer door. Let's either try it or surface,
Marco said urgently.
That red panel, that's got to be the doorknob,
Jake said.
Here goes. Let's hope this works.
He pressed his beak against the panel. Instantly, the outer door opened.
We should try this one at a time. See if it's safe,
Marco said.
Not enough time,
I said. My lungs were burning. I needed air. The 4 of us swam in through the outer door. There was a second red panel. I punched it with my beak, and the door closed, sealing us into a small glass room. We could see out and up into the ocean all around, but the side leading into the dome was opaque.
I knew we'd end up in an aquarium sooner or later,
Marco said. The water began to drain from the room, slowly, a little at a time. This opened an area of air at the top of the enclosure. I raised my blowhole and sucked in blessed oxygen.
Okay, let's morph,
Jake said. I had already started. By the time the enclosure was half drained, I could stand on my own human feet. "We made it," Marco said, after his human mouth reformed. "I don't know where we made it to, but we made it." The enclosure was empty now. The four of us stood there barefoot, dressed only in our soggy morphing outfits. There was one last red panel beside the door leading into the dome. "Ready?" Jake asked. "As ready as I'll ever be," Marco said. Jake pressed it with his hand. The door slid open. I felt a wave of warm, incredibly fragrant air rush in. I caught a glimpse of... Then, a brilliant flash of light. And suddenly, I was unconscious.